Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Real FERM podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in here tonight, today, this week, this month, this year, this time in the lives of conscious individuals. Hit the buttons, whatever. This week we're back in the room of confinement, and it's on the fly, and when all else fails, you go to the Florida Man Bonanza, as I like to call it. We're going to go through some Florida Man stories and have us a good laugh, and it looks like a good couple of frights as well. So buckle up for that, and we're going to get right into it. Quick little firmware update to start us off here before we dive deep into the Florida Man debauchery. I did just say we're going to get right into it, but by that I meant the episode. And if you didn't know, there's timestamps, chapters in the timeline that you can skip along if you like to just focus on one point. You don't have the time to listen to the whole thing. It's all there for you. I understand. I appreciate you clicking here and even listening to these few words, even if that's as far as you go. Attention is hard to get in this environment. Here I am, still trying to do it. Fun times. So yeah, it's been a good time. If you're a regular tuner-inner, that's a new phrase. Excuse me. Oh God. I'm so sorry for that. Hopefully I'm going to try to cut that out in the audio because that was disgusting. My nose phlegm went into the back. I feel like it was a loud sound. Anyway, if you've been tuning regular tuner-inner, you'll know that it's been a couple weeks since I've been here in my closet doing the solo episodes. We got the little Stevie interview, half of it, and on the podcast, this program particularly at least, and then at the Friendly Tavern for the open mic, which is going to be happening again next Monday from now. And if you're in the St. Pete area, Reddington Shores Beach, Friendly Tavern, open mic, I'll be there. I'll be square. I won't be square, but I'll be playing guitar and doing fun stuff. And so that was the last episode. We did a little bit of talking at the place as we were setting up, which lends you an idea of how I'm treating this podcast. So I apologize if anyone's expecting anything more. At this point, I know that it's not like obviously it's not big, but it's not. I would like to. Even just beginning to think of it, I don't want to get into a whole self-analyzing episodic treatise of my mind to start us off, but what I'm trying to say in short is, ideally I would want to plan these out more and have them more quality and in general, and just consistent in a way, and also topical. But maybe this is better. I don't know. Because sometimes the topical ones, unless they're Terrence Howard, not many people care about either. So I just don't. The value. I'm trying to. My mental health it's hard to focus on so many things. So here we are, and we're talking about Florida men, and that's what we're gonna do. So let's go ahead and start it off. In that regard, I have 3 stories I pulled up of recent Florida Man articles, me being a Florida man myself, and inevitably will be one of these articles, maybe a couple years, maybe a couple decades, maybe next week, who knows, keep an eye out in the Florida news outlets. This news outlet is a little sketchy. I've never heard of it before, Blicent News. But the headline is fun. A 57-year-old man was just arrested for the 75th time. I thought it was going to be 57, but it's reversed. 57-year-old arrested for 75th time. This looks like one of those entertainment pieces of writing. You'd think after the first, second, even the third time he learned his lesson, but a 57-year-old Florida man was just arrested for the 75th time. It's not often I'm impressed by the Florida man and his aunt. This is actually an interesting writing now that I'm reading more. And his antics, but this is just downright impressive in the worst way. I'm not going to read all the editorial additions, but I want to know what he did. And I don't know yet. That's what we're going to find out together. We don't know what? We don't know that kind of trouble that Mark Brents has been in leading up to this point, but it's clearly been, okay, they're just saying they don't know the history. This time, according to CBS 12, Brents was involved in a scheme involving barcodes at Lowe's stores in Hillsborough County and Clearwater. Shout out my city of birth. He was switching barcodes or scanning lower-priced items, and this wasn't the first time. Sounds like he racked up over $4,500 in merchandise over 10 different sprees. And not only was there fraud involved, but he was also posting the stolen items online. Of course. What is he going to do? Be a fence on the street corner? When they caught up with him, he was driving a car with an improper tag, and police also found he was on probation for felony fleeing to elude. I feel like if he's been arrested 75 times, he constantly... I mean... I don't understand how these people that do all these intricate crimes, they end up getting pulled over for the most ridiculous things. Improper tag. I guess if you're that jammed up to where you're committing merchandise fraud of some sort, your car tag isn't up to date. That's not that surprising, I suppose. We'll give him the pass on that. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office says that not only has Brents been arrested 75 times, but he's also been to prison 11 times since 1985. So a career criminal, but not a good one. A sad Florida man career criminal. Yikes. Okay, well, I was hoping there was more detail to that. As you know, if you've been following the Florida Man saga, that happens at the end of every episode. At least this one is a full episode of it, but my tradition is to not... sometimes I skim over the articles. I skimmed over the text of this, and it seemed like it had some information more deep, but turns out I was fooled. But I want, because I like the reaction of not knowing what it is exactly or the details, because then I get a real. Sometimes it's really surprising in the best of most entertaining ways. But yeah, that one wasn't. That's just kind of a fun little numbers. Numbers. 57-year-old man arrested for the 75th time. It actually would have been cool if it was the 57th time. But at least they were the same numbers, but reversed. That's cool. Shout out to Brent. What's his last? Mark Brents. Oh, and since we have 3, this time the Florida Man of the Week I'm going to pick which one it is. Whoever I feel is the most Florida of the Florida men. And we've got 2 more. I'm not going to make this too long because, again, this is a last-minute recording, as they tend to be in the latter times. And, So, there's that. Also, every time I do this, my timeline is messed up. My schedule, I can't get it right. And I'm always congested. It's just not... The aliens are putting me through a test, and I've been waiting for them to abduct me and fix my brain, but it hasn't happened yet. So I'm praying, I'm meditating on that, waiting on that to happen. Aliens is another. I want to get back into that topic one of these episodes. That's for sure. The alien r/alien subreddit is pretty insane. A lot of it's a bunch of crazy nonsense, but especially in the comments sections, but there's a lot of information out there that you kind of miss unless you dive deep into those areas. And if you're into that kind of thing like I am, it is quite intriguing, to say the least. I'm going to take a breath, try to clear my nose, and move on. We'll move on to the next article here. Alright, I did a rare cut transition there, only because the sound button didn't work, and who cares? You don't. Because it would have just kept flowing, except I interrupted it and had to let you know. That's alright. Florida man number 2. It starts, I'm gonna warn you, it does start to take a dark turn in various dark corners. Man dies after hiding drugs in his mouth outside Florida drug house, deputies say. Volusia Sheriff's Office IDs man as Cornell McKinney. So we got Brent McKinney. Let's see how he does here. DeLand, Florida. A man detained Wednesday outside of DeLand drug house later died after holding several plastic... I gotta see this one. I'm glad I didn't read yet because I'm very interested to hear what the drug... I'm gonna guess. I truly am not looking at the rest of the article. Died from drugs in his mouth. Could be... typically, I mean, the obvious answer is some kind of fentanyl derivative of whatever. Fentanyl-laced pills, whatever, because that would be the easiest way to have not that much in your mouth and still die. But I've heard of people putting obscene amounts of cocaine or bags of cocaine erupting in their rectums, and then it absorbs real fast and they have a heart attack. But I'm going to guess it's an opioid thing. Let's see. Drugs in mouth cue of Volusia Sheriff's Office. Volusia? Sounds too much like Fallujah. Volusia. Volusia. I don't know. I guess, well, that's the county in which DeLand is. DeLand, Florida. Detectives were executing a search warrant on South Clara Avenue around 10:30 a.m. following an undercover investigation into drug sales from the house, officials said. 5 people, including 54-year-old Cornell McKinney, were detained and seated outside, but McKinney was not verbally responding to detectives, according to sheriff's officials. Detectives suspected that McKinney may be trying to conceal or swallow narcotics and told him several times to open his mouth and spit out whatever he was chewing on, the deputies said. According to the sheriff's office, McKinney refused, so I keep interchanging and combining the words deputy and detective. Refused, so detectives called for medical assistance. McKinney then became responsive, and DeLand Fire Department crews began life-saving measures. So they see him chewing on something, and they're telling him to spit him out, and he's not doing it, and then he just passes out. Yikes. According to authorities, first responders recovered three plastic bags from McKinney's mouth and throat, 2 of which contained suspected heroin and fentanyl and crack cocaine. McKinney was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead, officials said. The Land Code law enforcement officers posted notices on the house deeming it unsafe. McKinney's official cause of death is pending an autopsy by the medical examiner. End article. I do declare and can assure you it was overdose due to opioids and respiratory depression. Although the crack could keep your heart going and force you to breathe kind of thing, but usually if it's fentanyl is pretty concentrated, and 3 bags, maybe 1 of each. And crack is really not that active orally, so if he's swallowing it, the fentanyl is definitely going to overrun. He died of an opioid overdose. Very peaceful death. I'm sure he just kind of, fell into a state of absolute orgasmic bliss, went unconscious, and now he's in the netherworld. At least he didn't have to endure the arresting and jailing process. Shout out to him. Cornell McKinney 54 years old. He lived, I mean, shouldn't die at 54, but at least he's not a young man. I'm relieved of such facts. Now let's move on to the third Florida man. This one, based on the headline, does seem to be the darkest and most disturbing of them all. And in a way you may not be suspecting. And I'm actually kind of worried that YouTube might... Not that this is going to get in the algorithm anyway, but... Anyway, you'll see what I mean in a second. Man arrested for creating child porn using AI. He faces 20 counts of obscenity. Florida man. A Florida man is facing 20 counts of obscenity. Sorry, I'm trying to pause an ad here. Oh, god damn it, sorry. Oh, I ruined the flow. It's all the ad's fault. My apologies. On behalf of the ad. 20 counts of obscenity for allegedly creating and distributing AI-generated child pornography, highlighting the danger and ubiquity of generative AI being used for nefarious reasons. Now, this is interesting because, as far as I know, most AI, generative AI, text, image, whatever it may be, video, have restrictions onto what even if you type in, like, explicit violence, it'll say we can't do that, blah blah blah. It's got the safety guardrails on it. I guess there's black web versions of this sort of thing, and that's how you do this. Not that I would have any experience, of course, just assuming. Philip Michael McCorkle. Lots of interesting names tonight. Dents? Shit, I forgot the first guy's name and I closed it. McCorkle was arrested last week while he was working at a movie theater in Vero Beach. Don't tell me he was screening his... Okay, according to TV station CBS 12, a crew from the TV station captured the arrest, which made for dramatic video footage due to law enforcement leading away the uniform-wearing McCorkle from the theater in handcuffs. So they arrested him at his job. The investigation kicked off after Indian River County Sheriff's Office received tips that McCorkle was prompting an AI image generator to make child sexual imagery and distributing it via the social media app Kik, K-I-K, not the live streaming app Kik, K-I-C-K. McCorkle's arrest was part of a county operation taking down people possessing child pornography, but the generative AI wrinkle in this particular arrest shows how technology is generating new avenues for crime and child abuse. What safeguards? The increasing tide of generated AI child sexual abuse imagery has prompted federal, state, and local lawmakers to push legislation to make this type of porn illegal. Wait, isn't it already illegal by default? But it's not clear how effectively it can be stopped. Last year, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children received 4,700 reports of generated AI. Oh my god. With some criminals even using generative AI to make deep fakes of real children to extort them? Oh my god. This is taken a much darker turn than I had anticipated. Although I mean, I should have... Yeah, maybe this is not the best. I should avoid these for next time. A 2023 study from Stanford University also revealed that hundreds of child sex abuse images were found in widely used generative AI image data sets. Put it all together, you've got a seemingly uncontrollable problem. The content that we've seen, we believe, is actually being generated using open source software, which has been downloaded and run locally on people's computers and then modified. And that is a much harder problem to fix. Holy shit. So, yeah, I mean, all the generative AI, image AI that I've used, not that I definitely have not tried to prompt it of this matter, but making it do like wild, crazy, explicit stuff. Not in an illegal way like this, but you can imagine. And it says, that is against the guidelines. So clear. So I'm sure on the dark web there's some sketchy forums or whatever, or dark web vendors that sell software that has the training of stuff like Dali and Midjourney, and they've jailbroken it to just do whatever you say, and then they customize it. They're nerds, and they're pedophile nerds, and they know what this is deeply, deeply disturbing. One of the various fingers of the other side of the hand that is the dark side of the hand of the power that is AI, technology, generative AI, large language models. It is such a powerful tool, and it is going to overtake society not even slowly but surely, quickly but surely, slowly relative to our everyday lives, but quickly relative to technology expansion ever since we've seen it in our lifetimes. So more things like this are going to happen, and hopefully the government finds a way to. They're just going to have to. It's going to be if you're individual looking to major in something in college, going off to college, cybersecurity, you will have a secure job for the rest of your life, I guarantee. Computer science as a base, I still regret not going into that to this day. But cybersecurity, holy shit. Anyway, without going too much longer, my nose is congested. I'm out of breath. I've been abused by I'm a self-abused, self-mentally abused, tormented mind myself, and but we're here, we're queer, get used to it, and I'm going to keep doing this as much as I can, however I can. Apologies, this was on the fly, real casual. Florida Man Bonanza. Oh, Florida Man of the Week. Don't want to make it the pedophile guy. I think we gotta give it to McKinney. Cornell McKinney, 54 years old, rest in peace. Swallowing bags of fentanyl and crack and dying on the hill of not being arrested for drug possession and intent to sell. Instead, you took the smart way, the easy way out, overdose, swallow it all, and die before they can arrest you in a peaceful, orgasmically amazing high that slowly fades to black and lights out. No jail, no legal troubles, no more life or consciousness. But, Cornell McKinney is floating amongst the aliens in heaven, and Jesus, and the angels, and who are the aliens, and, Lord Santa Claus. That'll do it. Thank you for watching, listening, whatever you're doing. Hit the like button, leave a comment, write review if you like, whatever. Hope you enjoyed this Florida Man Bonanza. Hopefully next time I'll have something more planned out. I cannot predict my future actions anymore. I've fallen into complete chaos. But, still alive. Unlike Cornell McKinney, once again, rest in peace. Peace and love to you and all your friends and family and everyone else. Bye.